Well, hello, hello, hello. So happy that you joined me in this webinar, The Secret Place. I'm Velvet Woodley, a health, fitness, and weight loss coach, and we are going to have an inspirational time together discussing the internal reasons we gain and carry weight on our physical bodies. We will discuss changing our minds in order to change our bodies. We will discuss how our physical bodies can often be a reflection of our spirit and thinking. We must change the way we look at food. We will discuss how what is showing on the outside often is a reflection of the inside, and how spending time in that secret place is the key to developing health internally. My goal is to show you what that secret place is and how to reach it based on my own personal experience and training other fabulous women like yourself. Well, if you don't know much about me, I am a coach, nutritionist, and trainer, and have helped transform more bodies, minds, and lives than I can count. I'm not bragging. Believe me, I'm not. I'm just super proud of the success of all my past and present clients. I stay in touch with most, especially the success stories, because I want to see how well they're maintaining, and I'm always delighted to hear how they have maintained their results, because that's the key. That shows true results. Have you maintained it? Not you lost it really quick on this fast and then a year later it's all back. You see, I coach on both developing a great health internally, along with the science of weight loss through nutrition and exercise. This is why the weight loss gimmicks and numerous cleanses and weight loss gadgets and gizmos and short-term diets don't produce long-term results. I created the highly successful 30-day online nutrition boot camp where I coach women from all over the world, as far away as Australia. I am an admin for one of the largest Facebook fitness pages, Black Women Do Work Out. I created the fitness blog BodyBlastTV.com, and I studied sports and health science at American Military University. I have coached women from all walks of life, such as attorneys, college professors, and medical doctors. In fact, I have worked with some of the busiest women in the world. I have coached med school and law school students, nurses, nurse practitioners, and teachers. Some of my clients have even been pharmaceutical sales reps, business owners, and stay-at-home moms. So you can see that I have worked with busy women from all walks of life. I am a 41-year-old wife and mom, and I worked as a real estate sales agent for 14 years, spent a year and a half in the behavioral health industry, and I have been coaching clients to weight loss and fitness success over the last few years. Because of this, I understand and really enjoy working with people. I understand the weight loss, health, and fitness journey, and I know that it is way more mental than anything else. It's not an easy, convenient, or comfortable journey at all. It combines developing a healthy mind, spirit, and body. In fact, the mind and the spirit is what is actually reflecting on the outside. No matter how many Beachbody, Tap Out XT, or Tybo videos you purchase, smoothie cleanses you drink, fat burners you pop, or plastic wraps you wear, the mind and the spirit will continue to produce the exact same external results. I want to tell you a little something about me. Now, I do not have the story of being an overweight kid or overweight teenager. In fact, I was always very active, even into my 20s. But something started to change. By my mid-20s, not only had my metabolism slowed down, but I put on 30 pounds by my later 20s. I married my husband at 25 and put on that newlywed weight over a 2-year period. The photo on the far left is me, 30 pounds heavier at the age of 27, and the one right beside it is age 32 at around 5 months pregnant. By my early 30s, I had developed such severe acid reflux that I had to visit a gastroenterologist. The reflux brought on headaches, sore throats, and a very uncomfortable burning sensation in my chest and my stomach. I developed digestive issues so uncomfortable that it made going to the restroom painful. It was difficult to understand why or how this could be happening to me when I was one of the healthiest eaters on the planet and had been since my teens. My gastroenterologist tested me for throat and stomach cancer, and by God's grace, I had a clean bill of health. But his exact words were, "It is obviously something you are eating, and you must not overlook this. This consistent irritation and inflammation that you are experiencing can lead to cancer over time." So even though I led a healthier than most lifestyle, I still had to take some extra measures to get my mind, weight, health, and body together and change how I looked at food, my activity level, and overall lifestyle. This was not easy because even though I was never obese, food had always been my biggest weakness. I love to eat. Sugar was my kryptonite, and I could eat until I was so full that my stomach hurt. I worked on finding out what was causing my sensitivities by journaling my food intake. I sought help in learning how to make my workouts more effective. I cleaned up my body and life and started coaching others on how to do the same in their lives. When I started my career as a weight loss coach in my later 30s, I was shocked at how many expressed digestive issues. I realized that digestive issues and not just weight gain is very common, especially once you pass the age of 30. So many stated that their digestive issues went away once they cleaned up their lifestyles. Many didn't even realize that they could feel better. They had become so comfortable with being uncomfortable that they simply thought that that was how they were supposed to feel at that stage in life. Oh well, it all falls apart after age 40, Velvet. You know how that is what I heard time and time again. So many thought that they were supposed to carry a lot of weight indefinitely after a certain age and after having kids. Even more saw so many in their family with obesity-related illnesses that they felt that it was a normal part of life after a certain age. When I changed my mind and what I thought I knew about food, my health and body changed. I lost weight and the digestive issues went away. Then I decided to go back to school to pursue a degree in exercise science. I started my coaching practice and have helped so many change their lives. After changing my life and helping so many others, I wanted to share with other super busy ladies like yourself how to lose weight and get in shape. There are 3 things we will discuss in this webinar. The first one is how your thinking, spirit, and emotions has created the condition of your body. The second is why short-term dieting and weight loss gimmicks simply don't work. And 3, how to reevaluate your priorities in your life. You will also need a pen and paper for a couple of quick exercises. So let's start with how to change your mind and change your body. Where we are in our lives is due to a sum total of our thinking more times than not. This even includes the condition of our bodies. I am not referring to those rare occasions where something was completely out of our hands and the result had nothing to do with us. I'm referring to the results in our lives that come from our decisions, which are fueled by our thinking. Now listen, I am not trying to be self-righteous here and act perfect because I am far from perfect. My thinking may have never led me to morbid obesity, but it has led me to less than perfect results in a couple of areas in my life. I got to a point where I took account of my life, actions, and results, and I owned it. It was my thinking and my doing that led to it. I speak to many daily who feel that it is the lack of time and money that is keeping them from taking better care of their physical bodies. They may even believe their genetics and age keep them from optimal physical condition. But again, more times than not, it is their thinking. I'm not saying that age and genetics don't matter, but how you view your time, money, body, and priorities dictate what you do with it all. Your mind will continue to produce the exact results, regardless of how much extra time and money is thrown at you. The big difference now is that you have far more time and money to continue on the same path, and that is now dangerous. So let's talk about those thoughts. You can't improve habits if you don't improve your thinking and words. We are the sum total of our thoughts. You know the Bible verse that says, the power of life and death is in the tongue. How do you view your life? What are some unhealthy thoughts that may be holding you back from being your best and contaminating your spirit? Can you believe that guilt, anger, unforgiveness, bitterness, and resentment can be keeping you from being your best and achieving your goals? It can be keeping you from your natural weight. It can be leading you to emotional eating and physical neglect. What unhealthy emotions do you need to drop? I have coached women from all walks of life who at one time or another in their lives have looked at themselves in the mirror and did not recognize themselves. Their lives were nothing like they had ever dreamed. They may have experienced a painful divorce, financial setback, had strained relationships with their kids, or maybe they were 50 pounds overweight. Life setbacks and disappointments happen to everyone, either sooner or later. And these disappointments can lead to emotional eating when, you're not hungry, just simply to fill voids and emptiness. I often get the same old, well, Velvet, you have never been overweight, and baby weight don't count, so you will never understand my pain. Well, my thought on that is, since when does baby weight not count? Because the source of the most dramatic physical transformation for most women is weight gain from having a baby. And then losing that baby weight is even more challenging, and often women carry around that physical weight from having a baby for the rest of their lives. So no, I have never been classified as morbidly obese, but I can relate to the emotion that woman feels. Our experiences and trials in life may be different, whether it has been a painful divorce, financial setback, or weight gain. But the thing that is the same is the emotion behind it all. It feels the same. So maybe the most weight I have ever had to lose was 30 pounds, and I was not considered morbidly obese. But I do know what it feels like to look in the mirror and not recognize myself. I do know what it feels like to have no clue what to do to change my circumstances because it felt so hopeless. I experienced such a severe financial setback after my real estate career folded in a bad economy. I was an extremely successful real estate agent and investor with a lucrative portfolio of investment properties filled with single-family homes and apartment buildings. I did this all by the age of 30 without an MBA or even a BA. I had my 10, 15, and 20-year plan written out because that was how I rolled, and I had my life mapped out, so I thought. I was taught at a young age by my dad to think like an entrepreneur and create my own financial success. I did exactly what I was taught and was super proud, but then it all came crashing down. Not only did I lose my income, but my portfolio of real estate was in the negative now. This meant that I was buried in debt from the business and had no clue how to get out of the situation I was in. This was not what I planned, and I did not recognize myself or life when I looked in the mirror. I felt not only a sense of failure and disappointment in my life, but also guilt in not being able to give my daughter the life I wanted. This went way past trying to give her luxury because I had no income anymore. I wasn't able to do some of the basics that a simple 5-figure annual income would have allowed anyone to do for their family. It was devastating, and I had my kitchen floor moments. So again, whether you have your mountains and negative emotions as a result of divorce, obesity, financial hardships, or something else, our unpleasant experiences may be uniquely different, but the emotions feel the same. I had some negative emotions to drop. I had to stop looking back and get out of guilt. I had to own my life and my decisions and take responsibility for my future. I had to stop comparing myself to others. I started by practicing gratitude, being present, and changing the way I looked at my life. I had to dig deep in my soul and release some unforgiveness and resentment that I had been harboring. I changed my approach to life because negative emotions and looking back was not the right approach. I discovered that I could change my situation by just changing the way I think about it, talk about it, and attitude about it. I learned to be grateful for what was good in my life. I focused on what my life was and not what it wasn't. I focused on what I was good at and not what I wasn't. I stopped comparing myself to others. I focused on my accomplishments and not my failures. My eyes opened even wider, and I saw that I had so much to be grateful for. So now I want you to practice looking at your life. If you have negative emotions regarding your life or body, developing a new attitude may take some practice, but it can be done. Dropping anger, resentment, bitterness, guilt, and unforgiveness may take some time, but it can be done. So now, do you want to know how I was able to take control of my emotions? What worked for me was to find quiet time where there were no interruptions from family, friends, TV, or the phone. Early in the morning was best for me before my husband and daughter got up. There was a season where I desperately needed some quiet time to tap into my soul, get answers, and discover my purpose, God-given talents and passions. I use this time to clear my mind, get into prayer and meditation, and ask God for direction. I ask the Lord to direct my path in all areas: finances, health, safety, family, my daughter's education, and more. This is where the inspiration for most of my business ideas and divine direction in other areas in my life, including making the best decision for my daughter in marriage. There would have never been a 30-day online nutrition boot camp, which was wildly successful and was the beginning of my work changing the minds and bodies of some of the busiest women in the world. My daughter would not be in her present school learning French and excelling beyond my wildest dreams if I had not gone to a quiet place and seek direction for her life. This is where I got revelation on how to move past my situation of horrible finances. This is where I seek ways to reach more people and change more lives. You would not be watching this video now had it not been for that quiet place. This is where I was able to release unforgiveness, guilt, and resentment. This is a time where you can tap into your soul and fill those empty spaces that you may have tried to fill with food and emotional eating. This is the time to get revelation for your life. Your quiet time may be at night when your family have all gone to bed, or lunchtime when you can shut your office door and turn off your phone, or first thing in the morning before the family has risen. I guarantee you that the creativity and genius in you will flow during this time. This is where you will get the revelation for getting out of debt, repairing your marriage or relationship for your kids, and overall direction for your life. You simply need to get to this quiet time and place and ask God for direction. Sometimes there is just too much going on around us and running around in our brains to hear it. The key is to start developing healthy thoughts, habits, and results in your life. So all you need to do is to just start. Take it one day at a time. It does not have to be some fancy ritual. It don't even have to be every day or for a long period of time during that day. Choose 1, 2, or 3 times per week to go to that quiet place. I remember feeling so mentally bogged down with junk running through my mind that I could barely get through 10 minutes. But that's okay. If that is you, then that is okay. Start where you are. 10 minutes is okay. You can work your way up to 30 minutes if you like. Now I can pleasantly get in 2 hours and really enjoy it. I have come to enjoy this time so much that my body's natural alarm clock wakes me up early, no matter how hard I try to sleep late. I so look forward to this quiet place. So I am telling you to go to that quiet place. Find the time. Release that stinking thinking and change the mind and change the body. So let's do our first exercise. I want you to grab that pen and paper and write down some things that may be in your thinking and causing some negative emotions. These are things that may even cause poor self-image and emotional eating. And I want you to write down some of the most common emotions that plague your spirit. I will give you time to think about it, but here are a few that I want you to think about. The first one would be failures. What do you consider your failures in life? Are the thoughts of your failures still plaguing you? 2, unforgiveness. Is there anyone you need to forgive, or maybe you need to forgive yourself? Are you still holding on to unforgiveness? 3, bitterness, anger, and resentment. Are you holding any bitterness, resentment, or anger in your heart? Do you need to drop any bitterness? Are you still angry at someone, or maybe even angry at yourself? Are you holding any resentment in your heart? 4, it's guilt. Are you holding guilt over your head or allowing someone else to hold it over your head? Do you need to drop guilt? 5, comparing yourself to others. Do you consistently compare yourself to others? Do you allow others to compare you to another? Often parents compare their kids, and even adult kids will find their parents consistently comparing them to another adult kid. And weaknesses. What do you consider are your weaknesses? And I'm going to give you a minute to think about these. So now I want you to look at these emotions and thoughts and ask yourself how this is benefiting you. Is it making you happier, a better mom, a better wife, a better career woman, or a better daughter? I want you to spend less time in meditation on these negative emotions, and I want you to think about something more positive. I want you to now write down what your accomplishments are. And your accomplishments should not only revolve around your career and finances. If you're not where you want to be in your career and your finances, it does not mean you have not accomplished much in life. I want you to look at those small, valuable things in life, and I want you to list those accomplishments. Next, gratitude. What are you grateful for? I want you to look around and really look at what you have and what you are. Believe me, there is someone out there who would trade places with you in a heartbeat. So I want you to look around at your life and at yourself, and I want you to write down what you're grateful for. Next are strengths. What are your strengths? Regardless of the negativity you may hear from someone else or even from yourself, we all have strengths. It does not have to be you curing cancer or winning the Olympics or the Nobel Peace Prize. We have strengths, and I want you to write down what you think is your strong point. And I'm going to give you a minute to think about these. Now, I discussed with you earlier on how finding quiet time, how it literally transformed my life. And it cleared my mind and gave me revelation and direction and so on. And now I want you to decide on some quiet time and place for prayer and meditation where you can focus on the positives. This should be a time of no distractions from the phone, TV, kids, work, or the spouse. I will tell you from personal experience that the best time for this is early in the morning, before anyone else gets up and before your phone starts to ring and before all the cares of the world has started pouring in. I don't want to hear that you are too tired to get up for a 15-minute prayer and meditation time, that you stayed up too late and you can't get up 15 minutes earlier. If this was a request from your boss or your kids' extracurriculum activities or anything else you feel is a priority, you will be up an hour or two earlier regardless of how tired you are. So I want you to work on changing your thinking and making this time a priority, because it is essential for your mental and your physical health. If the morning doesn't work for you, then maybe at lunchtime when you can shut the office door, lock it so no one can come in, and turn the phone off. Or even at night when everyone has gone to bed and the phone has stopped ringing and you can turn the TV off. I can't stress enough how finding this time helped me to clear my mind and open me up to clearer thoughts, opportunities, ideas, witty inventions, and more. Don't underestimate this quiet time. So now let's take some time to discuss priorities. Where your priorities lie is a matter of your mindset. It is always interesting to talk about priorities because I meet some of the most loving and caring people who simply make everyone and everything a priority over themselves. Selfless acts are honorable, but too much of it can lead to neglectful results. I remember coaching a woman who was so in bondage to trying to be the savior to her adult kids that it was ruining her health and finances. She would pay the rent of her adult kids to the detriment of not being able to pay her own mortgage, which then eventually led to a foreclosure. She would give all her extra income to family and stress out to the detriment of her health. She was warned by her doctor to make her health a priority or suffer the consequences. Although she knew what she needed to do, her overly nurturing mindset always led her down the road to destruction. That's why the old saying, when you know better, you will do better, is not always true. One may know better, but not have the discipline to do better. Another woman I coach would always claim to not have the money or time for exercise or healthier habits, but I made note of how she spent her money and time. I showed her how she came up with the money for car repairs, even when she felt she didn't have it, because it was a priority to her. When the AC in her house went out, she found that money to fix it because it was a priority. I also pointed out how she prioritized her time. No matter how frustrated or tired she was, she found the extra time for work when her boss asked for extra hours because her job was a priority. She said yes when any and everyone called. This is what I said to her. You just don't see yourself as a priority, do you? You are the bottom of the totem pole in your list of priorities. But one day your body will no longer allow you to continue putting it last. It will go out, much like your car and your AC did. But it will not be convenient or inexpensive either. It will cost you more than your car or your AC ever did, because not only are medical costs super expensive and far more expensive than the cost of fixing a car or an AC, but you will have to calculate the loss of income and valuable time with your family. I am trying to get you to change your priorities before it gets to that point. Those were my exact words to her. So my question to you is, where do you fall in your list of priorities? Will you always make excuses when it comes to taking care of yourself, yet go out of your way for everything else, no matter how many mountains you have to climb? It is time to make yourself a priority. Climb that mountain and make yourself a priority. You do not have to neglect others, but simply put the same effort into yourself that you do for other things. Stop saying yes to everyone and everything. Put yourself on your to-do list. Let's do our second exercise. We are going to find out where you fall on your list of priorities. So let's do something creative and fun. You need that pen and paper again. I want you to list 10 of your most important daily and weekly priorities. You, Y-O-U, must be in that list. And you will refer to anything you do for yourself, whether it is a manicure, workout, or quiet time. I will name some examples here and give you a minute to name yours. And put them in order of importance. 1 as the most important and 10 as the least. But here's an example of a fictional woman. Number 1, her number 1 priority is work. 2 are kids. 3, spouse. 4, you. 5, volunteer work. 6, housework. 7, prepare meals. 8, in-laws and parents. 9, errands. 10, friends. So I will give you a minute to write down your priorities and number them in the list from 1 to 10, 1 being a priority and 10 being the least. Now I want you to take a look at where you fall in that line. Are you very low on the list? If so, then you must renew that mind of yours to see yourself as a priority. You should be in the top 5. I do understand that there are seasons when it's not about you at all and it is all sacrifice. Like that woman who is overwhelmed taking care of a sickly loved one, my sister was in a season in life where she was overwhelmed taking care of her husband who was dying of cancer. It was not about her. She was overwhelmed emotionally, her time. She was completely overwhelmed and just didn't have the time or energy because she had just this huge responsibility. I get that. I get that we can have a season where it's all sacrifice, like the single woman with 4 kids who is working 2 full-time jobs along with a part-time job, and she's in school full-time. So I'm not referring to those seasons in life. And this is not about having time for 2 hours a day to exercise. I'm referring to making 30 minutes a day, 2 to 3 days a week, a priority, because this is all it takes to start seeing noticeable results in your body, in your physical body. If you are sedentary and you just incorporated 2 to 3 days, you made it a priority, you will start seeing very noticeable results. You only need 10 minutes a day of quiet time in the morning, night, or lunchtime, 2 days a week to see a difference in your mind and spirit. So, where do you fall in your list of priorities? And how are you going to make yourself a priority? So, we have discussed how the key to changing your body starts from within. It starts with developing a healthy spirit, healthy thoughts, and healthy emotions. That's why weight loss gimmicks like the latest fat burner pill, waist trainers, plastic wraps, the newest liquid diet cleanse, or short-term diets, they don't produce long-term results. These short-term gimmicks don't approach weight loss from the inside, which is why most gain it all back after losing by short-term means. Long-term results come from long-term health, both inside and out. It also comes from long-term habits. You have everything already inside you to be able to maintain your natural healthy weight. Now that you know how to reach that place within you, I challenge you to set aside time, that quiet time to spend with yourself and God, and find the direction for your life, peace within, drop the negative emotions, and find gratitude. Change the way you look at your circumstances. I promise you that your answers and directions you are seeking in life will be revealed to you during this time. I challenge you to educate yourself on food and how it impacts your body on a cellular level. What I have found in my coaching practice is that many only want to know how to just simply drop weight really fast and not truly learn about their body and why it is responding the way it is. Without knowing that, it may be very difficult to maintain your natural weight. I find that many who need help from a knowledgeable weight loss professional to help them in this area are just simply too cheap to financially invest in it. Many just resort to cheap gimmicks and random advice online in social media that may or may not be accurate. It's just coming from some random Facebook friend, but then will waste so much money in other areas of their life, like fashion and eating out all the time and going to the salon and then some. I also see a lot of meals posted on social media by ladies who mean well and desire to lose weight, but don't even realize just how unbalanced their meals are. They don't realize that they're not reaching their goals due to a lack of education. This is why I'm planning another webinar on the basics of nutrition and weight loss. I want to show you how my clients have transformed their bodies without gimmicks or starvation tactics, and did it all while eating meals, snacks, and desserts that they love. So stay tuned for the next scheduled webinar. And I have highly enjoyed this time with you, and I can't wait to meet up with you soon. So take care, folks, and I'll talk to you later.